Now, we're pivoting now to the Chicago City Council, approving the spending of $51 million on housing, outdoor dining and other services for migrants who cross the southern border. The council passed the funding initiative by a 34-13 vote, but the money will run out at the end of the month. More than 10,000 migrants arriving in Chicago since August. Alderman Raymond Lopez was the leading voice of the 13 members that opposed the funding, and he spoke to Newsmax exclusively right after the vote. Take a listen.
I can pull up my checking account and see what I've spent in the last 6 months. The city of Chicago, for some reason, can't figure out how to do that when it comes to the migrant situation. And I think that's because they don't want to show who has been benefiting, who has been profiting, and what has the outcome been.
And joining us now, Alderman in Chicago's 15th Ward, Raymond Lopez, and the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Del Cueto. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
Alderman Lopez, I'm going to begin with you. Can Chicago afford to house and feed all these migrants? At what point will the state of Illinois or the federal government need to step in here?
Well, I think most definitely the city of Chicago can, in fact, address this humanitarian crisis. However, they've been unable to do so from the Lightfoot administration and now into the Johnson administration, spending not just $51 million, but a total of $163 million year to date on the 10,000 people that have been shipped here starting since August of 2022. And that really is the issue that many of us are having, is that, you know, we don't mind living our values. We don't mind showing how compassionate Chicago can be. But that $163 million should have been enough money to keep children from being fed on the floors of our police districts, of families having to live in bathroom stalls while we figure out what to do with them. That money's gone somewhere, and we want an accounting of it before we continue asking Chicago taxpayers to fund more efforts that seem to be fruitless at this point.
That's a great point there, Alderman. I think sometimes people forget municipalities, federal governments, they don't make money. They're not businesses. So when all of this money is being spent, that means it's tax dollars. The people living in Chicago that are paying taxes are actually paying for all this. So let me just switch now. Art, the new mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, was asked about the situation. Here's what he had to say.
The families who want to call the city of Chicago their home, regardless of how they got here, that Chicago is big enough to take care of the residents who have been here and make room for those who wish to call Chicago home.
So what the mayor says, that the migrants who want to stay can stay, but at what point do the migrants start financially contributing themselves? And they can't work legally, so I'm not sure how they would do that. But, you know, what about the people of Chicago? They're paying for this.
Well, I think that's the issue, and that's where the animosity that we see build up comes from.
Let's be honest, what's happening is they're creating a magnet for people to continue to come and receive, everything for free. As long as you continue to do that, that's not going to stop. So if Chicago has a problem right now with their budget and they're saying, hey, we can do it for a month or we can do it for a couple months, you better be prepared to do it for a longer time than that. Because once you create that magnet and you send out the message that say, hey, we're going to welcome anyone to come here, plus we're going to give you free benefits when you show up, it's never going to stop. You have to point the finger where it's supposed to be pointing, and it's at the administration. They created the original magnet, and it ain't just Chicago that's suffering. Individuals that are coming across are going to different parts of the United States, and it's because of that magnet that's been created. So, it's good to say, hey, look, we're going to be nice, we're humanitarian, we're going to help people out. I get that. I understand that. But the way you stop this humanitarian crisis is you look at how it was caused and who caused it. And it was caused because this administration removed policies. The minute you place those policies back in and you tell people, look, when you come across and you ask for asylum, you're not going to be released and then show up to your court date whenever you decide to show up. You're going to be forced to prove your asylum case. And until you do, you won't be released. All that funding that's being given to people that, while they're here, that could be given to detain these individuals first and foremost. When you start doing that, the numbers alone will drop because people then realize I can't just claim asylum and get released and go to different cities in America and receive free benefits. Now I have to prove my case. that alone will drop the numbers. That's how you fix the problem.
I wish we had more time, but we have to leave it there. Alderman Raymond Lopez and Art Del Cueto, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
And there's plenty more to come on Wake Up America Weekend, only on Newsmax. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.